Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome back to My Zone Online School. Hi friends, my name is Teacher Hetty and our theme for this week is wild animals. Let's quickly sanitize our hands. We spray the hands, rub the sanitizer all over our hands and between our fingers. And let's also remember to keep a social distance. Our lesson for today is counting and all about numbers. So let's do some counting today. I know you can remember from all your previous lessons how nice it is to count. We say we have 10 fingers, we have 10 toes, and there's numbers all around us. Things come in pairs, things come alone, and numbers are just everywhere where we look. So let's do some counting. Let's count from number 1 up to 10 first. Let's do it. Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From number 1 up to number 10. Now let's learn a little bit from counting on. When we are at 10, we want to count on to 12. Okay, let's stop at 12. Counting from 10 to 12. 10, 11, 12. That's how we would do our counting on. Now, let's turn to page 3 in our booklet. Kindly take a look at your booklet. What does it show you? It says you have to look carefully at the numbers and you have to fill in all the missing numbers. Now, just remember to count. And if you get lost along the way, try to write the numbers for yourself on a piece of paper or count on your fingers. Enjoy filling in the missing numbers. Well, friends, let's explore a little bit about wild animals. Now, in wildlife, we don't just find wild animals. They come in all different sizes and shapes, and we have wild animals, we have reptiles, we have mammals, we have birds. So we have a vast variety of wild animals. Let's look a bit at the ones that I have on the screen for you. I have a rhinoceros, I have an elephant, lion, zebra, and monkey. Now, I have another animal for you. Let's turn to page 4 in our workbook. Let's see, what is that? What's that? That's a giraffe. That's a giraffe. Okay, so now let's explore this lesson a little bit. Let's do some counting. The shape that you see here in front is a plant holder. But what shape does it come in? It is a hexagon. Yes, you guessed it right. Let's count how many we can put in this box. If you refer to your page 4, you don't have to turn to your page now. You will have to count all the hexagons on your page. Let's count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you must make sure that you have 8 hexagons on your page. Now let's look at the pentagon. What is a pentagon? This is a shape with 5 sides. This is a shape with 5 sides. Let's see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You must count your pentagons on your page and make sure that you have exactly that amount, and then you fill in the number on your page. Now, I would like to explore another shape on there. It's not a very obvious shape on it, but I'm sure you can see 2 little eyes. That gives us a circle there. Let's look at a circle. What is a circle? Yes, this is definitely a circle. 1 circle, 2. 2 eyes for the circles. Let's look at another shape that we can find there. This house is made of a triangular shape. Yes, a triangular shape. Let's look at that. Count all the triangles. 1, 2, 3. Make sure how many triangles you have on your page before you fill them in. Make sure you do your counting very well. Well, let's look at one last shape that I have for you. Almost like a circle, but not exactly like a circle. What do we call this? It's a rugby ball. Who likes to play rugby? Yes, I know you guys like playing rugby. Now let's count. How many ovals do you see right there on your page? Count them and make sure. I think if you look at the ears, you will find them. Let's see. I have 1 oval and I have another one. And altogether they make 2 ovals. Well, friends, now make sure you do proper counting and enjoy your exercise. Well, friends, you remember earlier I just said that we have different kinds of wildlife. We have our animals that lives on the land. We have reptiles that live in the water and on land. And we have mammals and we have birds. Now let's look at the ones that I have here. I have a crocodile, I have a tortoise, a snake, and a frog, a hippopotamus, and a bird. Now I would like to share with you a poem about a frog. I have a little frog. I have a little frog. His name is Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water and gobbled up the soap. And when he tried to talk, he had a bubble in his throat. Oh wow, I hope you enjoyed that poem. Okay, so now let's turn to page 5 in our booklet. On page 5 in your booklet, there's a counting exercise. It's counting from 11 and 12. Okay, what will we do there? There's some balloons. Wow, I hope we're going to have a party later. Let's count the balloons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 balloons. Make sure you fill in 11 balloons on your worksheet. Also make sure you trace the number correctly. Let's count the cupcakes. I have some cupcakes here. They look quite yummy. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, there is 12 cupcakes in a cupcake pan. 12 cakes. What other thing do we know that also has 12? If you look around, you might find it. I think a clock. A clock also has number 12 on it. Make sure you fill in number 12 and enjoy your exercise on page 5. Let's turn to page 6 in our workbook. Well, that's another wild animal that we have there, and it's called a hippopotamus. Now let's count the hippos on our page. But before we count, I would just like you to look at number 11 here quickly. This is number 11. Now let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 hippos here. Wow, let's look at the number that you have to fill in on your sheet in the workbook. That's number 11. Count and fill in number 11. Trace the numbers from top to bottom. Enjoy! Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We learned quite a bit today. And the cupcakes really smell so nice. Now, let's remember to keep a social distance. And let's remember to sanitize our hands. Remember, between your fingers and all around. Zoe! Zoe! Oh, wow, there's our friend Zoe. Thank you, friends. Bye.
It's ShopRite's Big Low Price Birthday. We're celebrating with big deals and even bigger savings. Like 10 kilos Bokomo Fed Cook Wheat Flour for only $109.99 and 750 grams Ricoffee Instant Coffee for just $79.99. Don't miss out on our Big Low Price Birthday. Only at ShopRite.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1. Prepositions and directions.
Welcome back, friends, to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Hetty, and our theme is wild animals. Now let's quickly sanitize and get ourselves ready for class. We spray on our hands, rub it between our hands, all over our hands and between our fingers. Let's also remember to keep a social distance. Our lesson for today is number 13, 14 and 15. Let's continue on to page 6 of our workbook. On page 6, they want you to count the sweets and the lollipops. Now, before we count the sweets and the lollipops, let's look at the counting on our board. Let's count from 11 to 15. We have 10 on our fingers, and from 10 we're going to count on to 15. So 10 is somewhere up here in your mind. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well done, boys and girls. Now let's do some more counting. Let's count the lollies. I have some lollipops. We're going to enjoy them afterwards. Let's count. 1 lolly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and you guessed it right, the last one is 14. You have to fill in 14 lollipops. Now what about the sweets? Let's see if we have 13 sweets. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yay! We have 13 sweets and we have 14 lollipops. Now, if you go to your page, you'll quickly see that there's some coloring that you can do. You have to trace the numbers and you have to fill in exactly the number underneath the sweeties. Draw some sweets in the block and draw some lollies in the block. And remember, write down underneath on your page, fill in the missing numbers. It is exactly like counting on. Okay, friends, so let's turn to page 8 of our workbook. Let's see what must be done on page 8. Well, it's a coloring exercise. You have to count and find 13 animals and trace the number 13. Make sure you color your numbers. Make sure you color your pictures very, very perfectly. Let's do some counting on my board. I have a group of animals put together. On the one side, I have some rabbits, and on the other side, I have some hippos. Let's count and see if they make a total of 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the number 5. Now let's count on from 5 and see if we come to number 13. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yay, that gives us a total number of 13. Now enjoy your page, color in very, very beautifully, and remember to trace number 13. Let's turn to page 9. On page 9 is a very, very easy exercise. What animal has a long trunk in front? Keep that one in mind. Let's do some counting to see if you're going to trace the dots on your page, what animal you will find. Make sure you start at number 1 and you end at number 14. Enjoy the tracing and color your animal. If you find the name, you can write it down on your page. Enjoy. Let's turn to page 10 in our workbook. Wow, that is a big crocodile. And let's find out what number is represented there on that page. Let's do the dots. Your instruction is you must draw 15 spots on the crocodile. Well, let's do it together. Let's count and see if we can get 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4, and I'm counting 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Is that correct? No, I think I need 5 more. Let's continue. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 spots. Now, when you draw your spots, make sure you count correctly. Let's just quickly count from 11 to 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow, you learned about a lot of big numbers today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Let's sanitize and spray our sanitizer, rub it all over our hands and between our fingers, and let's remember to keep a social distance. Hi, my friends, where's Zoe? Zoe! Bye, friends.
My name is Ban Ki-moon. I am Secretary General of the United Nations. I was born in Korea. I was 6 years old when the Korean War started. We had to run from our homes to the mountainside. We could see my village burning. The United Nations saved my family, and my country. In my time as a Secretary General, I have been moved by the horrors of humanity, and I have been inspired by his heroes. I have wept at the memorials for victims in Auschwitz, Srebrenica, and Rwanda. I have dealt with tragedies that have gone on for decades and disasters that destroyed the whole societies overnight. I have also mourned too many courageous United Nations staff members who died serving the cause of peace. I believe in having a young mindset. This means standing up to injustice. I hope I will never be too old to ask leaders tough questions. I hope I will always have the energy to speak out for what is right. I think that keeps us young.
The coronavirus that causes COVID-19 has changed since the pandemic started. So does this mean the virus has become more dangerous? Scientists have discovered thousands of mutations to the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. Most mutations only lead to small changes, but scientists believe one, called D614G, may have made it easier for the virus to infect human cells. This mutation most likely emerged after the initial outbreak in China, and it spread fast after the virus arrived in Europe. By the end of June, the D614G mutation was found in almost all samples of the virus worldwide. Scientists believe this is due to amino acid changes in the virus's spike proteins, improving its ability to infect human cells. Some studies have found more spikes on viruses with this mutation. These spikes latch onto receptors on the surface of our cells. They then transfer the virus's genetic material, called RNA, inside. Being inside the host cell allows the virus to make many copies of itself. Random errors sometimes happen in the copying process, which cause mutations. Although the full effects of D614G are still unclear, some studies suggest that the mutated virus might be more transmissible than the original. This could mean more people getting sick and at a faster rate. Despite this, there isn't any evidence that the disease itself has become more severe. Scientists are worried about mutations possibly increasing the risk of reinfection. Hong Kong reported what could be the first case of virus reinfection on the 24th of August. A healthy man in his 30s is thought to have caught the virus again 4.5 months after he first got sick. During this time, mutations developed and new variants of the virus emerged. Some experts believe these changes may have made reinfections more likely. Mutations are common over the course of a pandemic. New flu vaccines are needed every winter to keep up with genetic changes to the flu virus. If a coronavirus vaccine is found, it could require regular booster jabs. Mutations won't happen overnight, and the coronavirus is mutating slower than the flu virus. But it's important for scientists to keep a close eye on how the virus changes over time. Could we be hearing more about other mutations in the future?